Oh, right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the YouTube. It's been a while. We are the second week into prep, so I should probably start the prep series again. How many weeks out are we? If I do the first show, I'm planning I'll be about 10 weeks out from now. 104 kilos-ish at the minute, weight cap's 96, so we're only just over 8 kilos off it. It's not too difficult. TRT at the minute, so 120 milligrams a test, nothing in the system at the minute other than that. So I'm in a pretty good spot. It was a long off season, just mental wise, just because I had a few injuries, well, one injury which is still hanging around a bit, hip injury, and you know, just not progressing as much as I'd hoped for, which I still have progressed. I should still be happy with the progression that I've done, but it's just one of those things that as an athlete you always want more, and sometimes reluctant to speak about it, which is what has been the case. So yeah, we're just getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully I don't look like as much of a fat mess. It's moving in towards that process of getting leaner. And for me, I don't use a lot, especially in the off season. You know, a lot of other guys will take a lot of gear and look really good all the time. Whereas I'm sort of prioritizing my health and making sure that everything is okay so I can do this sport for a while. So I don't look amazing in the off season a lot of time. I can look big in the right light, but it is one of those where maybe I've let social media get the better of me and I haven't wanted to post as much through whatever, fear of ridicule or whatever it is. I couldn't pinpoint it, but there's definitely an anxiety around it, and there has been. So I'm trying to get slowly back into it, start posting things and actually enjoying doing this. And YouTube is one of those things where I get a bit more enjoyment than just trying to post on Instagram, considering Instagram has become like the job, and posting clients and all the other stuff in order to, you know, fund this lifestyle and make sure that I'm going to still be able to be a bodybuilder, because I'm not at the point yet where people are reaching out and handing me sums of money. So I've got to make it for myself, which is, you know, hopefully this sort of displays the realities of what being a bodybuilder actually is these days. And it isn't just a case of, oh, you're a pro, now here's some money. It's, oh, you're a pro, nobody gives a fuck. Are you big on socials? Have you got enough of a presence? Do you sell? Are you a salesman? Do you look pretty? This, that, and the other. You know, all those aspects that go into getting people to hand over their cash. So for those of us that maybe aren't so good at that, you know, there's that reality, which trying to get better, but also hopelessly facetious and sarcastic and not wanting to do that because maybe it's laziness, but maybe it's also that element of I hate being sold to, so why would you guys want to be sold to? But I'm trying. Anyway, you've joined us together. We're here with my girlfriend. It's the chest and arms day. Jake is normally here, but he's dealing with a client. So I've been training with Mr. Woodruff for the majority of the off season. And we've made some good gains together. He's like 3-4 weeks out at the minute and looks like a zombie. I am still somewhat coherent, so we're okay. It is, I call it a chest and arm day. There's abs to start with, a little bit of back, then some chest, then some arms. So it's a bit of an upper, but it sort of has changed to suit the needs of the body throughout the off season to offset some, you know, you end up with one side of the body end up stronger than the other, end up with a bit of a ache and pain in certain places, so just fixing those things. But yeah, anyway, first movement, cable ab crunch. This one is, I fucking hate doing the kneeling ones because my knees hurt when I do it and my hips fly everywhere. Whereas if you do this on a lat pull down, one, the stack is just for some reason heavier than a normal stack, and you can actually lock your hips into it. So it makes for a much more productive ab movement because you can actually keep everything else that you need to keep still. So we'll just warm up. Okay. Right, quite literally just one warm-up set. People are always, I think there's a lot of stuff at the minute about warming up and mobility, and for certain things, really, really useful. For this, it is just an ab exercise. So 1 or 2 sets, get warm, get used to the movement, get to your working weight and just fucking do it. I did 15 reps last time, so it's not like I'm gonna fucking tear anything. Anyway, you wanna have hips back here, like planted as far back as you can, feet supporting, and a bit of arch to begin with, get that ab crunch, get the tension in, and just pull through. Oh. 2 sets here, and then we move on. Okay, next one is the upper back row, which you're gonna think it's a chest and arm day, why are you doing back? I was getting some like clicking in my chest here, and I know that's from having a tight upper back because I've had it before. The one way to remedy, or the two ways to remedy a tight upper back is stretch it, obviously, and train it. And as I'm doing a load of pressing movements after this, or 2 pressing movements after this, 1 fly, 1 press, then it's good to get the other side of the body, the torso, warmed up. So we know we're going to be doing this, so I may as well do that to begin with. And this, it doesn't sound very logical, but it is, opposing muscle groups and that sort of thing. So if you are having problems with, say, pain in the chest, it feels like it's in your ribs and that sort of thing, and mine was right in the sternum, it is because of certain muscles just too tight. You haven't broken yourself, you just need to fix it. So my thing was my upper back wasn't as strong as my pecs, which if you look at me, I have quite a large chest and my upper back isn't insane. It's one of those things that need to make it stronger. So the grip here we're going to go for, I'm going to try and flare my elbows as much as possible to really get in that upper back. And I'm actually going to wrap the thumb over because I found it gives me a lot more upper back engagement, so I'm not going to use any straps until I need to. Actually fully wrapping, because you get plenty of people with back, they go thumb over the top. I just found I ended up pulling down more, whereas I actually want to go up. So thumb underneath, and go for it. This is just a warm-up. Also with upper back, so if you see plenty of people round forward like this, and keep the chin down, because it feels like you're doing more traps, you're actually not going to be able to tense the upper back as well as if you have your chest nice and tall. So don't overarch like this, but just stay neutral. We don't extend forward too far, but that's the position here. Chest comes slightly off the pad. Contraction, not this. That. Yep. Good. Nice. Chest pads as well, you want them on your chest, not on your stomach. See too many people up here, like throwing it around. You actually want to use your chest to support yourself. Again, 2 sets here. Woo! Heavy, heavy. Okay, incline flies, trying to get stronger on them. It's a hard movement to progress. Most chest stuff is really hard to progress anyway, it just is naturally. I give this to a few clients, I see other people try and do it, and it's an incline fly, and people get it a bit wrong. You can make it into a flat fly really easily, and that's probably the natural thing that you feel like you should do. But when we want an incline fly, we want to really emphasize this top part of the pec and into the shoulder. So you're going to get a pretty unnatural stretch across that top line with this movement, and it might feel fucking weird, but you do have to go with it. So the great thing about these prime stacks is you can get them super deep, and the deeper you can go with this movement safely, the better. We want the biggest stretch we can get on this. Generally with flies, that's what you want. Couple of points of detail. The press, the fly itself, is not going forward. It goes up. We drive the hands to the ceiling and elbows come together. So thumbs, don't want to do that, that's a press. But pinkies together, basically, when you're at the top, drives the elbows together, yeah? So we get a shortened pec as well. Hands do not start down here. I've seen plenty of people start down here and work up like that, and they're like, why do my shoulders hurt? So you put all the pressure through the front delt. So hands actually want to go a bit back, and the press is straight up to the ceiling. So big stretch, bang, straight up to the ceiling like that. Pinkies up. Okay. We're just doing 1 set here. It is, because it's really fucking hard, it wears you the fuck out, that's why. As many flies as you can do. Once you've reached that point, into presses. And then that's it, it's a mechanical drop set and fries the shit out of your upper chest. And along with the chest clicking I was getting, all of my pressing, I never did a decline press, I rarely ever did a flat press, it was usually some variation of incline, because you're told forever that that's how you grow your chest. That's how you grow your shoulders, is an incline press, because you increase the range of motion at the shoulder, especially if you tuck, which a lot of people do. If you want a big chest, do decline press and do it with wide elbows. That's how you get a big chest. Mine has grown a fuckload in the last couple of months, I'm only pressing with decline and flat press, and my chest has grown. So take that what you will, but works a lot better for growing just the chest. When we're storming the beaches in the next few years, this will be in the tanks. Cardi B and my 50 cal machine gun. Come on. Oh. Come on. Okay. Whoa. That was hard. Less than last week. Lost weight. That's what happens when you lose weight. Dieting. First things to go is pressing. Overhead pressing, and then anything relates to chest. That's the first things to get weaker. Always. Ugh. Oh, this song gives me... How old was I when this song came out? I want to say 13. What a belter. Flat press, Atlantis flat press. I do end up bottoming this out, but that's not a bad thing because the stretch is still huge. One set here. Chest is growing really nicely. If I do any more than this, bit of the forearm pain starts to come in, maybe shoulder doesn't like it. So you do work out eventually what your workable level of volume is on exercises and then throughout the week. So when people ask me on the Q&A, like, what's the perfect volume per exercise, per muscle group? You gotta work it out because it will change. The stronger you get, generally it drops because you're having to ask your body of more. So it is very dependent of how you train. You know, some guys don't train as hard in one set and instead they go higher volume and shorter rest periods and push blood, don't necessarily get much stronger but get way bigger just because they're challenging the muscle in a different way and they will need more sets. Whereas someone who's doing working close to failure, then they're going to require a lot longer in terms of rest and also probably lower volume because you can't batter yourself that same way without expecting your body to hold up. So I'm very much in the second camp of lift as heavy as you can with good form and good tempo, and you don't need to do as much work, or you can't do as much work. So anyway, I'll change the angle of this because you'll see how shit the angle is from this position. We tried to film this exercise so many times, and you just end up with all stomach. I'm not even that fat at the minute, and I'll look huge. Boy is bloated, apparently. See? Also, I forgot to mention hard body wrist wraps. I'm not just saying this because there's a reason I'm wearing them, and it's not just for marketing. They do actually just make you stronger. You just feel more confident with your pressing. So buy them. They're not exactly expensive. They're about 15 quid. And you can use my code and get even more money off. Kent. They're well worth it. If you want bigger titties and shoulders. Right, let's see if this works. Oh, hey. We got 8 last time. Let's see how it goes. Notice how wide I'm going with my elbows as well. Good for the chest. Whoa! 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 Okay. One more. Oh, yeah. Woo! She's fucking massive, mace. Jesus Christ. Yep, come on. Yes. Go again. Press. Yeah. Good stuff. Boop. You leave me hanging. Hey. Just quite forward.
No,
Oh.
I think he's just a bit...
You can raise the seat. If you lower that, it comes further back.
It's just his head thing.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's...
It's probably designed for a bloke who's 5'9". Boop, boop, boop. Right, this is the arms section of the video. Forearms to begin. Now, nobody really works forearms, do they? This has come from necessity for me because I got tennis and golfer's elbow at the same time. So these two movements work really, really well to alleviate them. As well as another one, which I still do, but I do it on a different day, which is supinated rotation, which you can still use a cable for. This is quite simply extensor and flexors. So I will show you the first one. I will go straight into it because I don't need a warm up for it because I'm using 35 pounds because it's that hard to do. It is literally just the muscles in the top of your forearm here. So we're gonna get going. And I'm not gonna do it here because I'll have no stretch. I'm gonna bring it all the way back, have the elbows over the bottom so I can actually get the stretch. So here we go. Two sets there. But it's fucking hard, that is. Ugh. And then we can superset straight into flexors, which again, I probably won't warm up because I don't need to. Great thing about arms as well is you can superset everything. So this one, fairly narrow grip. Elbows again, trying to have them drifting off the back so we can get full stretch. Oosh. So like this, into the fingers and curl. Really pull to the pinkies even. Fucking hell. Two sets there. Okay, rope push down is the next thing, which is the first tricep movement. I've discussed this before on a reel, but I'll go over it again. So you see a lot of people do push downs like this, and you don't really get much from it, or they're trying to like eke it all the way back like that. You're really not going to have a strong contraction back here, and this movement, we want to really get in that short and be strong in that short. So something I've sort of worked out on my own is you want to obviously make the movement as hard as you can without just chucking the whole fucking stack on it. Like, load isn't the only thing we need to consider when we're talking about progression. So let's use the hardest form we can and obviously the best tempo. So if you really want to smack the outside of your tricep here, which you do with this one, press your hands apart from the start and keep them there. Tuck your elbows in at the same time. Allow for enough stretch. You see plenty of people stopped about there on the tricep push-downs, just do this. But full stretch, hands apart, you'll get some nice tension in the triceps there, and press. You can have your elbows back a bit because we don't want them coming forward and you end up with a shortened range of motion. So have them back, press down. Yeah, that's it. So hands apart, press down. And you will get a really, really nice contraction. So don't try and push back like this. Just straight down, you'll be able to load it really, really nicely. Elbows back, big stretch through here. Hands apart, elbows tucked, bang. Really, really, really good contraction. And you can consistently progress that. That's some good form that you will be able to progress, whereas lots of swinging, lots of momentum, you get to a point where that's going to stop working, and then you'll be back to square one. So start at square one and do it as hard as you can to begin with. And that progression you gain doing this will be solid, and you will actually get stronger and get bigger triceps from it. So make it as difficult as you can from the start, reap the rewards. Churro, it was like, it had like really crunchy solid bits in it. It still tasted good. It was outrageously sweet. Good. There's another mechanical drop set there, so hands together at the end when you run out of hands apart and just bash them out. Woo. 2 sets there as well. Right. Oh. Nautilus preacher curl. Very Dorian Yates-esque machine, or he did use it. Working out where your seat height should be is the fucking hardest part of this. But it does do the fully contracted range of the bicep where you can get your hand behind your head. So it is rather useful on that front. Got 2 things to think about in terms of the seat, and that's the height and how far forward it's going to put you. Or about there. Yeah, I feel very wedged. Was doing the cable preacher. Did it for a long time. It was great. But eventually you get to a point where stuff's not going to progress ever again. So you have to move on, which is what we did for this. Straight to working set. No messing around. Again, 2 sets here. I don't need to do shed loads of volume for arms because they're already a strong point, and I'm quite proficient at training them. I don't do any other arm work apart from some hammer curls in another session of the week. That's it. So, fun when you've already got something that's big. Doesn't mean that I don't know how to grow them. Oh. Woo! Nice. Right, overhead tricep extension, fairly explanatory. It's basically just a French press on a cable or a skull crusher but vertical instead of flat. Grip's going to be quite close, not wide. I want my elbows to flare. I don't want to tuck. If I try to tuck, you'll end up with a lot of elbow pain. Just the nature of the position. You also won't be that strong. If we want to tuck, push down to a much better position, I find. So narrow grip, make it a press, basically. So I'll be going as heavy as I can without my elbows wanting to explode, which if you go close enough, they should be fine. But we will see. It's a long way back. Somebody's broken the seat on this fucking thing. So it's going to be difficult. Oh well. Get on with it. It's really heavy. Okay, final exercise for today, dumbbell curl, 2 sets here. Again, literally 4 sets for biceps, 4 sets for triceps. It's quite a simple session on that front, but again, I don't need much more arms, but they do keep growing. So, dumbbell curls. A lot of people just do them normally. You think a dumbbell curl is pretty simple. It's actually not. A lot of people will not supinate hard enough and they will end up with a shitload of forearm instead of bicep. If you pull through that index finger, you're going to end up with shed loads of this part of the forearm rather than trying to get that full supination. Everyone's always saying that peaks are genetic, but they're not. They're really exercise dependent. If you want to get a peak, just look at it when you tense it. You have to twist this wrist all the way around. So don't just think, oh, I'll just throw the dumbbells around and hope. A lot of people as well, like, but arms are boring. You're just not paying attention. So when we do a dumbbell curl, easiest way to make this the most difficult way to do it. Hold the dumbbells on the outside so it forces you to supinate. Put them on your quads. This is gonna force you into the position where your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist are lined up. And then from there, curl the dumbbell, yeah? And twist that pinky up as you come up. This will light your biceps up. Like, you might not feel a pump straight away, but afterwards you certainly fucking will. And you are gonna have a really, really good connection with the actual bicep rather than bringing the forearms into play like crazy. If you come out here, you might still get some good stimulation here. I'm not saying that this doesn't work, but it's not as effective. And you're gonna end up with a lot of swinging. A lot of people as well who have got really strong forearms in comparison to biceps will do this, and their elbows will come backwards, and they will get a hell of a lot more forearm than they will bicep. So you've got to drive it forward, yeah? That's going to be a lot better for getting into the peak of the bicep. You can do it like this if you really want it, but as a sort of like fail-safe training wheels way to get it right, put them here and you will end up with a much, much better position for the bicep to work in. You're also going to force the elbows into the body, so they're not going to be able to drift backwards and end up on that forearm. So if you prefer to do it one way or the other, cool, but that's the way I found to make it easily stay on the bicep rather than get into that forearm. Top set. Do go quite heavy. 25 kilos at the minute. I think the most I've ever curled was like 28 kilo dumbbells for 6 or something, and that was when I was on the first time I ever used Anavar. I've only ever used it twice. But yeah, just to make me instantaneously stronger, and I was a bit like, feel like I'm gonna tear something. So not gonna do that today, but I can still use the 25s. It's hard, but we can do it, so let's have a go. Don't be afraid to get a bit swingy at the end. You're gonna need it, especially as you get heavier. You're not gonna be able to keep perfect form. Failure is generally pretty ugly, so don't be afraid to make it a bit ugly. Anyway, one more set and we're done. Okay. New posing room. Need some more mirrors. Need some better lights. Hopefully I don't look too horrific. But here we go. Give you a sweet little show of how I'm looking, what I'm looking like at the minute. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed. More of these to come. I'll do one a week, I just will. And assuming there's changes. But yeah, prep's coming, shows are coming. Hopefully this is a good season. Maybe we'll get to the Olympia, who knows? We'll find out. Stay tuned.